Hi everyone, my name is Anderson Tan. I'm the product owner of Crimson Honors here at Crimson Education, and I specialize in working with students to build out a really strong competition award profile for their applications to US and UK universities. Today, I'm going to be answering some of your most frequently asked questions about competitions in the context of Indonesian applications to the US and the UK. Is MUN still worth doing now? This is one of the most common questions I get asked in Indonesia, and for good reason. MUN is very, very popular in Indonesia recently. But the thing that I would advise you to do if you're interested in using MUN in a college admissions process is always to think about how prestigious is my participation in MUN actually showing up as. What do I mean by that? If you're just participating in MUN and you're just doing it to pad your CV, don't even bother pulling it in your college admissions, it is useless. If you want to make MUN useful, you should A, be doing prestigious conferences. This usually means international ones, not ones that are just in Jakarta and only inviting Indonesian students. And number two, you should be winning something. You want the award for you to put in your application. So whether that's Best Delegate, Diplomacy Award, or even Most Improved, you still need to make sure you're actually winning something that you can put on your application. Once you have those ingredients, then you're set. If you don't, then MUN might not be the right choice for you. What's the biggest mistake Indonesian students make when joining competitions? I see the same mistake over and over again when I'm looking at competitions profiles from students here. It's that they only do Olympiads, right? Competitions take many, many different forms. You can do speech competitions, public speaking, debate, research, writing. But in this place and in this context, usually students are only basically doing Math Olympiad, or Physics Olympiad, or Science Olympiad. You need to be thinking broader than that, because not everyone is going to win an Olympiad. Not everyone wants to apply with exactly the same profile, and if you really want to stand out, you have to be doing things that your peers aren't doing. What's one thing Indonesian students need to know before starting to join competitions? When you're thinking about joining competitions, you gotta make sure that you're doing the right competition for you. Don't just blindly spend your time doing the same things that all of your peers are doing, or doing math competitions just because it seems like this is what college is like. Colleges want you to be winning things that demonstrate the skills that you have. So ask yourself first, what skills do I have, right? What am I good at? And how do I actually win an award using those things? Don't just follow what everyone else is doing. Make sure you are leaning into what you're actually good at. What's one competition that Indonesian students underestimate? I find that Indonesian students generally do not look very much at writing competitions. I think that this is one area that Indonesian students would benefit a lot from having a look at. Whether you're interested in social sciences, humanities, or STEM, writing competitions are becoming increasingly important because they really demonstrate that a student is able to communicate their ideas. Something that in the age that we're living in today is very, very difficult to find as more and more students' writing skills get worse and worse. I would really recommend that you look at international essay competitions and creative writing competitions, either run by organizations like John Locke or by newspapers and journalism organizations like the New York Times. What competitions should Indonesian students do to get into Ivy League, Oxbridge, and other top universities? Well, it depends. Are you aiming for the US only or for the UK as well? UK universities only care about the competitions that match up with the major that you're applying for. So it doesn't make sense for you to do something related to public speaking if you're aiming for an engineering major. If you're aiming for engineering, do Math Olympiad, right? Or do the Olympiad that matches with the engineering that you're aiming for, like chemistry for chemical engineering. If you're aiming for the US, the important thing is that the competitions you do are prestigious and at the international level, because that's what you really need for you to be able to put on your honors list. What competitions would you recommend for students aiming for different majors? Think about the different skills that a student studying that major would need. A computer scientist needs to be able to code, of course, but they also need to be able to communicate to AI coding agents. If you're aiming for business, you need to be able to present, you need to be able to do public speaking, but you also have to show that you understand how to do math and how to do business analysis. If you're aiming for politics, philosophy, and economics, PPE, then you're looking at writing skills, right? Being able to argue, being able to read and do research. Aim for competitions that demonstrate the core competencies that are expected of somebody who is aiming to study or aiming to work in a career in the major that you're applying for. Do I need to win competitions to get into top universities? If you're aiming for top US schools, the answer, sadly, is yes, right? If you are aiming for the very top, they want to see that you're performing at the very top. And specifically, they want to see that you have 5 awards or 5 international competition wins. This is because the actual honors section of the Common App, which you're going to be using to apply to these schools, asks you for 5 awards. So if you don't have them already, you need them. For top UK schools, it's less important, but you want to make sure that you're demonstrating the right extracurricular competencies that you need for the major that you're applying for, and competitions are a really excellent way for you to do that. What do top universities want to learn about you from your competitions? Your honors list and the competitions and awards that you put on there are a way for you to show a university that you're even better than your grades suggest. We want to show them skills that you have that otherwise they wouldn't be able to learn about you. And we want to demonstrate to them that you have some kind of external validation for the work that you say that you've done. Nowadays, you can lie on your college admissions essays, you can lie on your activities list, but you can't lie on your honors list because all of these things should be verifiable online, or if the admissions officer decides to check whether or not you actually won that gold medal at IMO that you say you did. So make sure that the competitions that you're doing are ones which really tell the right message about you. What matters more, awards, leadership, or impact? Well, it's not really that simple. They all matter to a top college application. The key is you want to make sure that every part of your profile is really helping to demonstrate all of the above, right? Your awards are a reflection of your leadership abilities and the impact that you make either in the competitions that you're doing or in the awards that you're winning. Impact is something that comes from all of the different activities that you've done, and you can demonstrate that too in your honors list by showing that, for example, you've done something multiple times over multiple years. And leadership is something that is typically demonstrated in an award because you actually went and showed leadership through becoming elected something or becoming given the prize of something. So it's not an either-or kind of situation. If you're doing the job right and you're building a strong application, you're going to have all of the above. If there's one piece of advice that you could give to a 15 or 16-year-old who is aiming to attend a top university, what would it be? I would say you need to figure out actually what your strategy is. And what I mean by that is you need to figure out what makes you stand out from the crowd. An AO only gets to admit a very small number of students from among hundreds that they're reading from your region, from your school, from your city, from your local area. So when you're thinking about how to craft your application, make sure that you are already from the very beginning trying to figure out, what am I good at? What makes me different? What am I passionate about that not other people are? And then really dive deep into developing that storyline of your application. That's what makes you stand out. If you want to learn more about Crimson or about college admissions to the US, UK, and many more places besides, make sure you click on our website link below to find out more.